Hey everyone, my name is Delaina Burns and I'm with you tonight on Live with Prima. Welcome back to the show that I didn't get quite recorded last Thursday. This is the Christmas bike. I made it using our Prima metal bike frame and Frank's beautiful Victorian Christmas line. And I just wanted to redo the show so that it can be recorded and you can go back and watch it on YouTube. So this is the bike, and I'll show you. It's got lights inside. I used the Lumies, and you can see how it lights up. I hope you can see that. See it with the lights off, and then with the lights on. And it just lights up the inside of the frame right there. So I want to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to leave the light off to get started. Put my bike to the side, and I will show you. I'm going to put it here so I can kind of see that I'm putting it back together correctly. So I want to show you how I started. I've done a little work ahead. You can see it comes with this nice wooden base, and you've got these little screw areas here that just fit right down in these holes, and you've got a couple of little bolts that screw right on. So it's just really easy to take off. You just remove your little nuts here from your little bolt area and just slide this right out. You can see I've already done a coat of the pollen colored micro beads. Pollen colored micro beads are number, let's see if I can see these numbers. Number 96269. That's the pollen colored micro beads. I took did an entire coverage of the, okay, I'm echoing. I'm not sure why I'm echoing. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see why I'm echoing. Let's see. Okay, I'm not sure why it's echoing. I don't have anything else on. Let me know if that is okay, Robbie. Make sure you don't have two screens pulled up. Okay, just let me know if that continues to be a problem. So what I did is give a complete coverage of the bicycle itself, the metal portion, with the pollen beads. And I did that by taking some 3D gloss gel. The 3D gloss gel number is 961367. I coated the entire metal frame, even the inside and the back, with the 3D gel. And then I just kind of hovered it over a bowl and just sprinkled the contents of the micro beads all over and let that dry. I then went back with the gloss gel, added some in a little cup with about a couple of teaspoons of water. You want to mix about the same amount of gloss gel as water, and then I coated the entire thing with that mixture to kind of set my beads so that they didn't fall off while I was doing other things and working and packing them up for, you know, between Christmases. So those are the processes that I've already done ahead, and I'll go back over that in a few minutes because I'm going to do a few more things to the bike with another color of the actual micro beads. How am I doing as far as the echoing? Okay, good, not echoing anymore. Okay, so what I want to do first with our base is just give it a nice little coloring. I'm going to grab some of the Crackle paste. I've got gold Crackle paste, copper Crackle paste, and Black Gesso. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to stir the Crackle paste. I just want to kind of give it a little glaze. So I'm just going to kind of grab the liquid that is on the top here and just really quickly start with the gold. Just want to get a little out and kind of all over really quickly. I don't really want to cover the entire thing. I want to leave a little bit of my wood exposed, and the wood's going to kind of show through the glaze look anyway. I'm not adding it thick enough for it to crackle. I just kind of want this color and this little glazed look that you get from the crackle paste when you don't like stir it up and goop it on. If you stir it up nicely and add a thick layer, you'll get a really nice crackle. So I want to give this a quick dry, just kind of between, and only gonna dry just for a second. Not worried about it being totally dry. And put my gold away. That's all I need with the gold. This is going to be really quick. And if I don't do a total coverage, I am completely okay with that. Just really quickly give it a coat of the gold. I just want to kind of tone down this dark wood and warm it up a little bit. I want to kind of golden it, well, turning it over, I want to kind of give it a golden hue by adding these colors. Then I want to take the copper color and same thing, except I'm not going to go quite all over. I'm just going to kind of randomly hit a few spots with the copper color. Same thing, I'm not going to stir this. I'm just going to kind of dip my brush in and add just some of that copper color without totally saturating it and without making it thick enough to crackle. Not concerned about it crackling. If you like the idea of having that crackle, you can just add a thicker layer. Just want to kind of close these bottles and get them out of my way. You could always add a thicker layer and you would be able to take advantage of that crackle. I'm going to give this a quick dry. Just kind of heat it up just a little so that it's not soaking wet when I add a little bit of this black gesso, because again, I'm just going to add enough of the gesso to just give it a little hint. I don't want to paint it black or anything. I just want to give it a little bit of variation of color. So I'm going to kind of open this up and just, I know I've got stuff on my brush already, but I don't want to wet it. I want to do this kind of a dry method here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wipe some of this back off on my mat here. I don't want very much of this black, and I just want to kind of touch the corners and just a little bit. You can see, you can kind of use your finger to kind of help rub that in. Don't want a lot of color, just a little bit. And I'm just taking my finger to just kind of help rub that in. I'm going to pull a little bit back up off my mat because I don't want a lot. I just want a little. And that will be it. That just aged up our wood just a little bit. And I don't mind getting my fingers dirty. If it bothers you to get your fingers dirty, you could use a paper towel. So that is it for that. And I'm going to grab my, I'm actually going to grab my little rag I've been using. Ran out of paper towels today, so I've just been kind of using this little rag to wipe up my mess. So give this a quick dry and we are finished with this piece. And that is all we are doing to our base. You can kind of see we just sort of dirtied it up, that golden color, and then with that copper color, and then with our black gesso, we just really warmed it up. So we want to put this back on the base, the bike back on its base. Just kind of close its little lid there. Then you just want to turn it over. And for now, I'm just going to kind of hand put these on. I'm not going to worry about tightening them until later. I'll take a pair of pliers later and really tighten these down so that our bike is secure. But for now, I'm just going to kind of do it with my fingers. That'll be enough to get us through It takes me a second. When I was adding the beads, I got a few beads kind of stuck to the little threads of my screws here, so it's taking a minute. Okay, so that's what we have now. So the next thing I want to do is add another layer of micro beads. I've got the copper color, and this is number 962579, and these are the copper color. So what I want to do is grab a paintbrush. See if I can find a paintbrush. Grab a paintbrush, one of Finn's brushes, and these are made by Prima. These are Finnabare's, and our 3D gloss gel. And I want to make a little mixture here with our gold mica powder. This is number 962524. And I just want to, well, actually I want to dip out a little of the gel first before I dirty up my brush. Let's dip out a little gel. And I'm kind of doing this where you can't see it. Let me move this down. You see I've dipped out a little bit of the gel. Then let me grab a little spatula. I'm going to dip out just a little bit of the gold mica. And I should have told you, the first layer of beads, I did the same thing. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning. I mixed this gold mica with the 3D gel with my original layer as well. That way I have that golden undertone. So this dries clear, but the bicycle itself is a silvery color. So I wanted to have it more gold. Lots of gold in Frank's collection, and I wanted to have more gold. So probably got a little too much of this here, but that's okay. I just in random spots want to add some of this copper color. The copper color is going to help make the bike look a little rusty. I'm kind of going for that little rusty look, and so just in a few places I'm going to add the copper color, just kind of in a natural spot where an old bike might rust. I want to add some copper, and it just gives it that nice little rusty, like it's been out in the weather look. And I may not get every place this time that I want to get, but I can go back after the camera's off and get a few more spots. It's kind of hard when you're working on a time frame to kind of cover every spot, but it's something I can always go back and add to. So I'm not real worried about getting every place that I need. I'm going to get some on the top of the bike here. You can see, I hope I'm not working off camera. Get some on top of the bike here, kind of going down the bike, kind of on the front of its little frame here. You just want to be sure that you've got that look kind of running around all over. Let's get some down here just a little. Okay. Kind of go to the back side, because you're going to see this from all sides. You want to be sure to address the back just like you do the front, because you'll be able to see kind of all the way around the bike. Okay, and that'll stay wet for just a minute. So we have just a minute that we can kind of grab our beads. I want to grab a bowl that we are going to use. My bowl is filled with the pollen color, so I want to pour the pollen color back in its little jar. And you can see I've got a little bowl here. I'm going to just kind of prop this over in the bowl like so and just pour. And when you're done, you can just pour all this right back in your little jar. So I just want to kind of pick this up and kind of all over get these beads. You see, this is kind of hard on camera, and they're kind of spilling out, but but that's okay. That's what beads do. You'll be chasing them all over the room, but that's okay. That's the nature of the beads. Okay, so I just want to kind of grab this where it's dry and just be sure. I'm just kind of turning it around to be sure I got it all over. And I think that's pretty good. Then I'm just going to kind of tap it off. Tap off as many as I can. I'll need to wipe my lid out. I kind of got them down in my lid. That's okay. And then I'm just going to set my bowl off to the side. And I will put those back in later. But you can see, I hope you can see how it added just in some areas that kind of bronzy color, which in person it gives it kind of a rusty type of peel. So we'll put our paintbrush in water, and what I'm going to do is wipe up our mess. Let's just wipe our mess right up out of our way. And I've got so many beads on my actual little non-stick pad here. I'm going to turn this over. This nice little pad, all of our beads kind of stick to it. So I'm just going to turn this over where it's kind of cleaner over here on this side, and work on this side so you can see a nice clean surface. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I hope y'all can see. I'm going to have to go back to full screen to be sure that you can see me. Okay, yeah, you can see me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just prop my bike up just a little bit with a little bottle of talcum powder here. Just about like this. So, okay, this is not working. I'm going to have to turn my mat back over because I have all these beads on there. It's slipping. And this is a non-slip mat. And that's one of the reasons I love it. So we'll just deal with the beads being there. It'll be okay. It'll be a little messy. So what I'm going to do is put my box back there. And this is just going to help you be able to kind of see the inside and what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to add are my Lumies, because I did light this up. So I'm going to start with some pipe cleaners, some gold pipe cleaners, and my package of Lumies. And this is the 1 meter Lumies, number 584764. And you can see just really quickly these come apart. Yay, this cooperated with me so well tonight. Okay, just want to put those right about there. And what I want to do is just kind of, I've got one whole one. Just want to kind of measure it around. And this one was a piece that I had cut off of another. It's about half of one probably. And I just want to kind of twist these together. And you can measure. You want to have it about 2 or 3 inches longer than you need, so you can kind of measure it around, but you just want to allow 2 or 3 extra inches. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to leave these open because I'm going to wrap the Lumies around here, and I'll show you why. I want to leave, this is your little on-off switch here. It's got little batteries in here, and you'll want to open that up and take out this little white piece of paper, this little circle piece of paper that is preventing the battery from connecting. So you'll want to remove that first, and you see how your beautiful Lumies light up. So if you loosen that, it turns them off. If you tighten that, it turns them on. So I'm going to loosen it, and you're going to leave about 2 to 2.5 inches because you want to run this to the outside of your bike. And I am just going to wrap my Lumie around. This is very bendable and So I'm just going to kind of wrap it around and just give it a little squeeze. You don't want to pinch it really hard. You just want to give it a little squeeze kind of around your pipe cleaner. You want this to kind of take up some space because you want this now the size of this pipe cleaner. So just kind of pinch that as you go. Kind of see what I'm doing, just kind of pinching it down as I go. Leave yourself a few inches on each end, even if you have to start wrapping back. Leave yourself a few inches. It's going to look kind of like that. And then just kind of gently, just kind of fold down your Lumi so that that wire is pretty snug to your pipe cleaner. Kind of noticing where your little bulbs are. You can turn your light back on and just be sure you've got it kind of evenly all the way down your pipe cleaner. And what I'm going to do is just kind of loosely connect this pipe cleaner. It's going to be a little bit bigger than your actual circle, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do and how that's going to come in handy being a little bit bigger. I'm going to turn your bike over. That's not quite dry yet, so we're going to lose a few beads here and there, but that's okay. Ideally, you would want this to dry and then begin your work, but for the purpose of the video, we are not able to do that. You want your Lumi to kind of come out the top of your frame here, so we're just going to kind of press it in. Press it in that little lip area toward the front of your bike. Don't be real physical with it. Be kind of gentle and just kind of help it. Just sort of pinch it and press it in. It'll be kind of snug if you've left your pipe cleaner a little bit larger. And then you've got your extra 2 inches or so that's outside toward the top of your bike. You'll see that it's kind of up to the top of the seat of the bike. When you pull the door closed, you're going to have one little light and your on-off switch to the outside of your frame. So you just want to secure that. It's got a little clamp back here that locks that down. So you just want to kind of secure that. I bent this just a little bit, so let's get that moved over so it'll clamp down well, about like that. And then you've got your little battery pack area, your little on-off switch there to contend with. So you want to grab some glue. You can use hot glue or Fabri-Tac or whatever you choose, but you also need a little piece of paper. I'm trying to find a little piece of paper that I can use. A little piece of packaging works really well. So I'm just going to tear off a little piece of packaging. There's a little groove on your little light here, and you'll want to have a little bit of paper back here, just so that you've got a nice adhesion. So I'm going to cut that pretty much to fit there. I'm going to add a little glue. I'm going to go ahead and turn my light off because this is going to have to dry. I won't be able to kind of manipulate this again until it's dried. So first thing I'm going to do is to the back of my little light, the front being where the wire is, I'm going to glue this little piece of paper on where it just kind of fits there. Just kind of move that around so that it dries well. Make sure it's got a good adhesion. And then you're going to add some more glue, and you are just going to kind of glue that to the back of your bike. You can hold that for just a second and just kind of press your wire down to kind of lean up against your little battery pack there. And we're going to leave that just like it is so that it will dry. Now we're going to start working on the inside of our bike. It's going to take that just a minute. Let's hold that for just one more minute. It's not wanting to stick. stick real well just yet, so let's hold it one more second. Hot glue would do this pretty fast, but I recommend a little bit stronger glue to keep this, especially for packing and unpacking Christmas after Christmas. Just probably be nice to have this, maybe even some E6000 glue. And again, that would require some dry time. So what we're going to do is just going to lay this down on the actual little bottle there so you can kind of see where I'm going to go with all of my inside decorations for the frame. So that's just about like that. Next thing that I did is I took a few of these paper doilies. This is number 585006. These are the gold paper doilies. Prima brought these out in the summer. And what I did originally, before I got it all in there, I used these numbers. Have these numbers. You can see these numbers I've covered with the gold foil doilies. Number 9600261. These numbers, I took the 2 and the 5 out, and what I did is just cut into my doily, and I cut this center little portion out twice. Just kind of cut in there and cut that out. Save your outside pieces because we're going to use those inside the frame. I took a little bit of the 3D gel. I coated my numbers in the 3D gel. Can you kind of see? You kind of see that 5. I coated it in the 3D gel, covered it with the paper, kind of cut around it, and then I added a little more 3D gel and added a few beads to it. And you can see I did that to the 2 and the 5. So I'll spare you having to do that on camera, but it's just a really easy process. Just soak the back of this with the 3D gel, lay it on top of it, then kind of use your scissors to cut around, and then press your extra to the back. You can see the back, you can still see that silvery metal color. So it just makes these really pretty with the gold, kind of a gold foil look with a few of the beads. And you can use either the pollen or the copper. I have a few copper on these, so whichever you like. The pieces that I have left over, I don't like to waste, and I would like to have a lot of illumination inside this frame. I want the gold to really pop, so I'm just going to kind of add these to my back here. You kind of see there, leaving a little bit of the top showing because it is covered with beads. So, and if I don't get every bit of that adhered down, I'm not worried. I'm going to have plenty going on top of it. I just want to add a little just so that it stays in there while I'm working. Add both of these in there. I'm going to use my scissors to kind of guide that. And you are going to have that hole, but that's going to be covered. Mainly you're just going to see the top portion of these. And if you have too much, just kind of fold it down out of your way and just kind of poke those in there. These are non-stick scissors, so the glue's not bothering them. But you can see I have a little bit of the top area with no foil, no doily, because I kind of want the beads up there to show. So we have that. Next layer is going to be some of the Victorian Christmas chipboard. Let's grab that. Adore this chipboard. Lots and lots of pieces here. You've got metal pieces, you've got sequins, and tons of chipboard that coordinate with the Victorian Christmas collection. 582470 is the number. What I'm going to do is just I'm just going to kind of cut these out for now. I'm just going to run my scissors. I don't need the sequins, so I'm just going to kind of cut the 2 bags out with the chipboard and the metal, and I'll go back and put these in my own baggie and label them. But you want to grab out, you get these really cute pieces of metal, a little wreath and a little key, a little envelope. We're not going to use the envelope for this project, so I'm going to lay these metal pieces to the side. Save those for a few minutes from now. And then I'm going to go through my chipboard, and I need, let's see what I need. I need Santa. We have Santa. We're going to need Santa. We're going to need the larger Christmas tree. We need this Merry Christmas. It's going to be the front. So we need the Merry Christmas. We need this larger Christmas tree. And it looks like it's got lights on it already. It's so pretty. Need that. And there's a little wagon in here with some toys that I want. Here it is. We have a little wagon, and it's filled with dolls and a little teddy bear. So I want that. So that's what I'm going to be using as far as the chipboard goes. Let's lay this to the side. Just going to put that back in the bag. Get it back in there as best we can. Going to put our chipboard to the side, out of our way. And then I'm going to grab a brown ink, just any brown ink will do. I'm going to use Prima's Dark Rust, I think. And I'm going to actually ink my outside edges. Don't like these white cores, or these cardboard cores, or whatever you call it on the side of these pieces of chipboard showing. So I'm just going to darken them up, so that I don't have to worry about anybody seeing that. It just gives it a more realistic look if you don't see that core. I'm going to do that to all the pieces. Do that to Santa. And if you want to distress these up a little bit, you are welcome to use a little sponge and kind of work it into your piece. I think they're kind of distressed enough. I kind of like the look that they have now, so I'm just going to ink that core so the core doesn't drive me crazy, because it will. I'm going to do all the pieces that way. These are going to be so dimensional and standing up in there that you would probably be able to see that. You could take a calligraphy pen or a marker and do this as well. I've used a calligraphy pen for years. I don't know how to do calligraphy, but I've bought the pens to ink edges, and I like that. But the ink is just handy, so that's all we're going to do to that. Now what I want to do, my first layer is going to be this Christmas tree. So I'm going to remove the backing, and I'm going to add a little extra glue. I just want to be sure this is stuck for good. And I think my lights are kind of coming on and off. Is that going to bother y'all? I'm moving the table around, and I think it's tightening my lights back up. But I want to put the tree in, and I want it right in the middle. And I want to be sure that it's straight. So I'm going to turn these off so that you can see. Let's see which direction's off. I want that to continue to adhere, so let's lay that back down. Lay that back down. Are you able to see inside there pretty good? I hope that you are. Okay, we're going to put our Christmas tree, and be sure it's standing straight up. If you have to kind of hold it up in front of you to be sure it's kind of maybe offset a little bit to the left, but pretty close to the center is where you're going to put your tree. Right about like that. Now what I need is some layers in the back, because I want this very dimensional. I want everything kind of pulled forward. So I need to get a couple of flowers in and behind to start my layers. So I'm going to grab this pack of flowers, 583422. Tonight I'm going to have to use a few different flowers than I originally used, because I was out of a few things with making the two. So I'm going to start with this rose here from the collection, and I'm just going to kind of add it in toward the back. I needed a pretty thick flower because I want my Santa brought forward. So I'm going to kind of push that right into the corner. You kind of see, kind of toward the bottom of the tree, just a little bit up from the bottom of the tree. Have that right about there. And then I want to grab a gold flower. Let's see. Let me see. I'm just going to lay these flowers here. This is number 583415. And the names of these are so small, I'm doing good to read the numbers. It's hard for me to get the names. But grab kind of a golden, kind of a creamy color out of there. A little glue. And you can do these, you can add your own flower that you love. The flowers all coordinate. We just basically need layers. We need some thickness to pull our pieces up. I'm going to grab our Santa now, and I'm going to actually remove his entire sticky back. I'm just going to go one layer down with, just grab it with my fingernails, and I'm going to remove that sticky layer. You could add a little powder as well to remove that. I don't want him sticking anywhere but just the lower portion of his body, so I don't want him to be pushed backwards and stuck to anything else in the drying process. So I'm just going to remove all of his sticky. I'm using my scissors to kind of get up under there and take that off. I don't mind a little bit of it being left, but I just want the majority of it gone. So what I'm going to do is just add a little glue to the bottom of Santa's bag, kind of on the front and on the back. And then I want to add a little glue over here on his little hand so that we can kind of stick him to the wall. And I just want him to stand up right about here. You can see it's going to take just a second for his little self to kind of be stuck there, and just be sure that you've got him standing up properly. You want to hold this up in front of you and kind of see. I want to be sure he is standing up, kind of like that. And then what I want to do now is go in with another flower. I want to choose this flower, 583453. I had originally used the leaves and berries, and I am out of those just about. The leaves and berries were 583460. They can be used in here as well. You can use the berries and the leaves as fillers. I'm going to use more flowers tonight. I do have a berry that I am going to use, but for now I'm going to use the flowers. So I just want to pull 3 of these flowers out. The first thing I want to do is kind of stand this one up behind Santa. It's got really pretty glittery edges and the beautiful leaves that are back there. And I want to kind of push this all the way to the bottom of the frame and just stand it right up. Kind of, that'll help to hold Santa up in an upright position. Can you see that? Just about like that. And we're going to go in with more berries and things too here in just a minute. But these poinsettia shaped flowers will just help kind of hold our layers up. The next one I want to add to the right hand corner. I want to be pretty generous with the glue because I really want these stuck down to stay. So let's add this right here in our corner. Kind of have it protrude a little bit, kind of up and over Santa there. We've got this little burgundy colored one. Love all the shades of reds and golds and greens in this collection. This one's going to go kind of behind both of these, kind of back over in this corner, and I'm just going to kind of smash these together. Just kind of push those down until they fit pretty well. Kind of tuck it to one side, however you like. I want to be sure it keeps its shape. I don't want to fold it down and have it lose its shape. So just about like that. You can see it's just filling that up. We just want lots of layers, and we want that filled up really pretty. So the next thing I want to add is our little piece of chipboard. Where are you? Our little toys. I want to add those. So again, what I'm going to do is peel the back off, and I want to be sure to peel all that sticky away. In fact, on this one I'll show you how you can add a little baby powder as well to unsticky that. Just add a little baby powder and move that around, and that'll remove all of that sticky. So, and it smells really good too. So we'll have that sticky removed. What I want to do is add a little glue just to the bottom little wheels of our wagon. And we're going to put that right here, kind of in front of this flower. Kind of tilt it out away from Santa just a little bit. And I'm going to put another layer of berries kind of between Santa and the little toys there. So what I'm going to use are these berries here. I used these on the other ones as well. Number 583507. I'm going to open this out. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go in and cut our berries off. Not going to use the leaves. I may, on this particular one, I may use a few of the leaves just as fillers. But to start with, I'm just going to kind of cut these off. Just cut them off, cut them off, cut them off. You can see. There's just so many different ways, since these collections match so perfectly. You can do lots of different things. So I am going to kind of cut my leaves up. I'm going to go ahead and use, I think, some of these leaves. In fact, I may just kind of use this whole section. Let's just kind of cut these apart. Kind of like that. We'll kind of use those three together. And I'll use this one with its little twig. We might use this little twig. We may just use this entire piece tonight. We will see. Let's cut this off. Use these pieces right here together. Okay, so what I want to do is just start kind of tucking these in. I'm going to grab this little piece right here, and we want to tuck it in kind of right behind Santa. Just so we've got a few. Deciding which direction I want these. In fact, I may cut this one apart again and use this section here kind of behind Santa right here. I like to use my scissors to kind of poke and push. So we'll add that one right about there. Grab our little piece we cut off. Add a little glue. And we will add these berries right about here. So we got berries coming out from behind Santa right there. We don't want to totally cover up our Christmas tree, so just be sure you're not totally hiding your Christmas tree. Then what I want to do is take another pretty full section, and I don't want to waste, so I'm going to kind of clip away where I don't need. And I'm going to add those right about there, right between Santa and the toys. I want to add a little piece of the berries. Just right about there. And then the section that we cut away, we'll add a little glue there. And put those kind of on this other side. Just so you're creating those layers. Can you see the layers that we are creating? Just so when you stand it straight up, just be sure that you have everything pulled forward so that it's not like tilted backwards. So we're just about like that. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to add this, maybe this little leaf section. Well, maybe we'll just save it, because what I have too still are a few of these extra. Have a few of these extra berry pieces from the original berries that I used, and I did want to add what I have left. I wish I had had time to have gotten some of these ordered, but I wanted to get this class underway, and so I'm just going to add a few of those just kind of in a few random spots, and I want those to kind of spill out. I do want these to kind of spill out, so I'm going to add our little twig section that I have left right here. be able to just kind of put these together and add a few of our others and maybe a few extra flowers because we kind of want a little spillage here. We're going to add a few leaves. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. Just fill it up and make it pretty. Make it full. About like that. Got a few more, and you can use every inch of these little berries somewhere to make this beautiful. Add those right about there. I've got stringy glue everywhere, but don't worry about your little twigs showing there. We're going to go in and fill that up. So don't even be worried about that. We got lots to do with that. So I'm pulling these out. Yeah, my hands are way too sticky. Okay, what I'm going to do, this twig is bothering me, so I'm going to trim this twig down just a little bit. Right about there. Just about there. Hide all your little stems. I'm going to grab some of these little berries. Add these to the mix. Just kind of tuck these in right about here. You can just mix those berries all up. We just want a little, be sure we get a little spillage there. And I want to add a few of these little berries kind of back here. The screen's going dark. Kind of back here. Because remember, you're going to see this whole thing, so you want it kind of all the way around. Next thing I'm going to add here are a few little pine cone pieces. I got these little tiny pine cones from my neighbor's yard. You see how adorable they are? These can also be bought at Michael's and Joann's. Or not Joann's, I'm sorry, Michael's and Hobby Lobby. So be sure and check out Michael's and Hobby Lobby's. They were like in the fall section, I think, of Michael's. So, and if not, go raid your neighbor's trees because these are the cutest little pine cones. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is maybe add one more flower kind of back there, or yeah, let's add one more of these little flowers. This is a number of these flowers here, number 583439. And at this point, I'm just trying to fill up. I'm just trying to fill up. I'm just going to grab one of the printed ones. Fill up my little space here. Adding a flower right about there. Just make sure it's kind of on the side with a little opening there between. And then I'm going to grab these leaves. I did not use these the other night, but these can be used in place of the leaves and berries. Number 583491. And I actually have a few of these kind of over here. So you can see this here. And I had intended to remember my staple gun. And of course, I did not remember my staple gun. But let me see real quick if I can locate that. I need my staple gun to kind of staple these little flowers the way I like them. Give me just a minute. Okay, normally I use my little tiny attacher, but I don't see my tiny attacher, so I'm going to use my large staple gun. And what I'm going to do is just kind of pinch this leaf like so, and then with my staple gun I'm just going to staple right through it. I like them kind of pinched, so I'm going to add a little glue to the back of it, and I want to tuck it in right about here. Then I'm going to grab another one. Same thing. I'm going to cut away the bottom portion, and I'm going to kind of pinch that, grab my staple gun, and I'm going to pinch that down just like that. add that right about there. Then I'm going to grab a couple of more. I'm going to actually open this package right now of these. Kind of cut these out. I need probably 3 or 4, so I'm just going to kind of cut these away from their stems. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of cut the bottoms of these off. Grab a couple of them. I'm going to cut the bottoms off. Cut that one just about in half. So I'm going to pinch these up. I just like to kind of fold them and pinch them. Staple that down. Same thing. Pinch it and fold it. I don't like them flat. For some reason, I like them pinched. They seem a little more natural to me if they are pinched. I need to add a few right here to the front under my... Probably should have added this before I added my pine cones because I want it right here in the front. I want this kind of billowing out with the rest of the cluster. I'm going to add this one right up under my berries there, just about like that. Can you kind of see how I did that? Just about like that. I'm going to tuck this one in pretty good, so I'm going to push it back with my scissors. Just about like that. So move all this kind of over. It gets so messy here. I hope you can kind of see where I'm still going with all this. Okay, just about like that. Okay, and the next thing I want to do, I need a few more berries. So I'm going to, where are my scissors? I'm going to kind of clip this away. Just want this top portion of berries. I want to continue to add to my little spray here. Just continue to add. I've got this stringy glue going everywhere. Just add this right up under here. Just about like that. Kind of see where that's going. That's just like that. Then I want to grab a few more little pine cones. A little glue. Just add one right about here, just kind of to the center of this flower. One right there. I'm going to add one more, I think. Right about there. Kind of see that? Can you see? Lots of layers. Just lots and lots of layers. Okay, now what I want to do is move my decorations kind of on over. I'm going to grab first, let's do a few of these flowers. And I want to stay with the gold and the red and the kind of the printed. I'm going to grab this striped one. And just pull out a few. Don't want to use the green. So I'm just going to kind of grab the kind of creamy colors. And anyway, we'll see how many we use. But these were number 583439. And then I want to grab possibly one of these here, I think. Let's grab this music note one, and let's see, maybe this. Let's see, maybe this red one. We'll see. Let's see, or maybe I'll grab one of these other ones because I think I want one of these other printed ones. Let's grab one of these here. Just want all our flowers out so we can just continue working. Let's grab this printed one right here. That'll work. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of squish these up a little bit. Add a little glue to the back. And I want to kind of put this one kind of toward the back of your wheel there. Right about there. And then I want to add this pretty music note one. And you're going to see these are a little bit different. These are going to be made just a little bit different, but they're going to be equally as pretty. Add that one right about there. And then let's add a few of these small ones. Let's get a printed one, this little striped one. Is that it? Right up under our little frame. Let's add a little cream colored one right here. Kind of connect all these. Pull our striped one a little forward. And then I want to add maybe another little printed one toward the back. Back in the back, so you can see we have it kind of all the way around. Keep these pushed up next to the wheel, just like so. Okay, and then what I want to do is take my scissors and kind of cut these centers out. I just want to kind of clip these centers because I'm going to add larger centers. So I want to clip that one out right about there. Okay, then I want to add a few leaves. Just going to kind of build my cluster now around my wheel. Cut the bottoms off of these leaves. Let me grab another one. Oh, cut the bottoms off. What I want to do is kind of clip these, and these have little wires in them, so they'll bend really nicely for you. So let's go in and staple that down. Haven't even looked to see if we have anybody on here. I guess we do. Hey Bonnie. Hey Julie. And Robbie is our mod. I guess y'all figured that out. I should have told y'all that. But Robbie is our mod tonight. Helping me recreate this. I don't know what happened the other night with the recording. But we are going to fix that. I'm just hoping when I'm done we have no problems with the record. And this will be on YouTube soon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of stand these up here next to our wheel, like so. One there, and kind of fold this up. One here, just about like that. See how that goes. And then I'm going to grab another little flower. Let's add this little cream colored flower right about here. Kind of tuck it in. I want these two leaves kind of to stand up right about there. I'm going to grab some more pine cones. Let's grab a few more pine cones. Let's add those. Love these little pine cones. You could use pine cones or little acorns. I don't know how y'all say it. I say acorns. I say it like I'm from Alabama. Or like I'm from Georgia. I'm actually from Georgia, but I've lived in Alabama a long time, so I sort of just talk Southern. I guess that's what I do. I talk Southern. So lay our little pine cones down right about there. Okay, let's do one more flower kind of to the back. Right back here. And just be sure that you've kind of paid attention all the way around. About like that. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is stand up my 25. Let's add let's start with the 5. Add a little glue to the back. And we want to stand that 25 up right behind our little pine cones here. So we just want that to kind of peek out right behind our little pine cones. About like that. Okay. Just about right there. Kind of see that. Let's move our flower around just a little bit so we'll be sure we can see our entire 25. Like so. Okay. And I believe I have enough flowers. Let's just be sure that we don't need one. Maybe we'll put one down here on this back side on this end. the red ones back here with the berries, since we're not adding nearly as many berries as we did before. Now we're going to take the last bit of our berries here from our little vine, and we're going to cut them apart and add them in our little section right here. We just don't want to miss anything. Just continue to kind of cut these away so that you can use these small sections. Just about like that. You just want it really full. You want it to look really full and pretty. We'll add some to the back here. Add some right back here. Be sure, I don't know if I'm getting my head in the way. Be sure it's under our flowers, right about there. Okay. Then I think I'm going to use a few of these little leaf sections, I think. Didn't use these before, but I'm thinking maybe I don't need them. Or maybe I'll add them right back there. I think they look pretty kind of showing toward the front. So let's add these right back here, kind of under our flowers, and you can see these just a little bit to the front. So right about like that. Okay, and then the last thing that or not the last thing, but one of the next things I want to do is add some of Frank's Memory Hardware Pearls, number 990381, and I want the gold ones, so I'm going to dump a few out in the lid, and I'm going to grab the gold ones. And what I'm going to do is just add these kind of in and around our little and if they slip and slide, they are, because I'm kind of at an angle here, but that's okay. We will make it work. Okay. Robbie was talking to me for a second. Okay, can y'all still hear me good? I feel like I'm talking low. Okay, we're just going to continue to add these. I'm sorry this thing is not cooperating with me tonight. Let's get a big one. Let's get the large one to kind of add. Love these pearls. Very, very versatile. Very, very pretty. Just add them kind of all over. About like so. Oh, stop. Cooperate, please. And I hope y'all are able to see this pretty good, the way that I'm working with it. Add another little pearl to the inside here. Just drop it right down that little side portion there. Like that. Then we want a large one to add as a center over here where we cut that center out. We want that large pearl right there. Got strings of glue everywhere. And then I want to add, I'm going to drop them. I want to add a few pearls to this cluster over here. I'm stringing everywhere. Add one right about there. Then I want to add a small one. My nails are about too long to be playing with these. I should be holding these with tweezers or something probably. Just want to kind of add these in and around. And you can always go back, and I may do that. I may go back and add a few more once I'm done. Just place them kind of around. I won't keep you on here the whole time I'm placing these, but you kind of get the gist that you just kind of want them everywhere. Switching your sizes up. You want small ones and large ones and medium sized ones. Just kind of switch it and swap it up. But just be sure to see your back, how I'm just sure to decorate the back as well. Just be sure that you've added back there too. Okay, I will spare you the rest of those little pearl placements. Just kind of get everything where it's supposed to be. Move these around. See, my fingers are so sticky, I'm picking them up and moving them. Move these around, but you can kind of see and get the gist of where that's all going. I've also got to remember my little metal pieces. I've got this little metal wreath. I want to tuck it in just right about here. I got this little metal key. It's just all about layers and texture, and you want some things high, you want some things low. It just adds to the beauty of it. Have that right about there. Okay, now what I want to do is add our little Merry Christmas sign to the front. I'm going to pull off the sticky on the back, add a little extra glue, and just make sure you get your glitter off so this adheres well. Add our little Merry Christmas, just kind of eyeball it. Get it right there in the middle, kind of even at the top. Right there. Merry Christmas. Let's move all of our stuff out of our way. And I may go back to the back and add a couple of pine cones or a few more of the little pearls, but or maybe a leaf. You can kind of decide what all you need back there. Be sure your little Lumi is up into that little lip. And now what I'm going to do is take some of this beautiful snowflake paste. Love the snowflake paste. And just a little brush. This snowflake paste is brand new. Released this summer. Number 962906. And I'm going to just take a little out. And just in a few places, just kind of a few natural places that you may have some frozen snow, kind of after the snow's begun to melt, I'm going to add some snow. Just in a few places. What I'm going to do is go ahead and stand this up so I can work on this. And you'll see I'm going to add a little bit on the seat. This snow is kind of glistening. It's not like full of big pieces of glitter, but it has just a hint of some little tiny pieces of glitter. So it glistens like real snow. It is the most realistic snow material I've seen. It is fabulous. And I just want to kind of touch my pine cones with it. Touch the berries with it just a little bit. The edge of your leaves. Get some on your wheels. Just in some places where it might have stayed frozen. I'll add a little bit actually to my frame, to my wheel here. Just kind of push it back around. And it dries kind of to it doesn't dry like hard. It dries, it dries solid, but it's kind of spongy, so I promise you it's so much like real snow. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. So I'm just gonna touch kind of my pine cones around my leaves, even the other little ornaments and things on the inside, just kind of all on the inside. Since this is an open frame, it's as if the snow has drifted in, and I'm going to kind of get some in there as well. Just want to be sure to make it look really natural. Put a little bit down on your base, kind of falling over your little sign, almost like it's on a signage outside of a store or something. How the snow kind of freezes and stays there, just kind of all over. It's very realistic, very, very pretty. I love it. And don't forget to get your back portion. Just be sure to not forget to be dressing your back of your frame. I'm going, and I'm sure we're probably very close or past time, past my hour. I'm hurrying, Robbie. I'm going to touch this in a few more places, and then I'm going to show y'all kind of what I've done. You can see it's very fun too. You just kind of get carried away. You just about can't stop. It's like, okay, that's enough. You can't cover everything in snow. Can't cover up all the beautiful work you've done. So you want to stop. Okay, so that's about what I'm going to add right there. A little bit in there. Y'all know I can't stop myself. A little bit right there. Okay. Okay, now I'll show you. See, I've just kind of added it. Kind of added it over here. Across the top, some on the seat. You might want to put a little bit more kind of falling down under the seat here. Kind of falling down on your little thing there. Y'all, I can't stop myself. Somebody tell me to stop. Okay, and you see I'm going to turn my light on. Let's tighten this. Oh my goodness, look at that. You can hardly see it, so bright. But that is it. That is our frame. Got lots of stringy glue, but that is our frame. So thank you so much for joining me again. So sorry that I didn't get it recorded last time, but I'm going to try our best this time to get it recorded. I'll get it over to YouTube for you so you can watch it on Ustream and on YouTube as well. Thank y'all so much for joining me once again. Be sure and come back Thursday night, and we'll have another show just for y'all. Always so fun to be here with you. Thanks a lot one more time. Y'all have a great night. Bye.